Hello everyone, welcome to the Kyoster here on CKTV on YouTube. Just here to talk about something I don't really address much here on the show, but I'm here to talk about the US presidential election. I'm a big fan of the American, all things American, as you probably know by watching my channel. I am a big fan of a lot of hype. I love things that are surrounded by hype. I love things that are really hyped up and brought to the table as far as really interesting stuff and stuff that's really and I think the US do that very well. I really enjoy American news and American entertainment, obviously, but I really enjoy American politics, and I'm going to talk now about American politics as far as the 2016 presidential elections in the States. And it's not going to be a very long video because, to be quite honest, I wouldn't be as well versed in this type of thing as I would do about movies and wrestling and other entertainment. But I'm going to give you my 10 cents, as they say, about some of the stuff that's going on as far as the elections. And I've been reading up on it a lot, and I've been watching a lot of the latest YouTube videos and the latest American news and interviews and campaigning and that's going on, and I'm very impressed with. I've had interests in American politics periodically, and I've had interests in all things American periodically. I've always been a big wrestling fan. I've always been a big movie fan, and I ventured in and out of other stuff, and one of them things is American politics. Very oddly, I know stuff about Irish politics, I know stuff about British politics, other places, but I have a special interest in the American side of things because there's that bit of hype there, a bit of intensity, a bit of interest. A lot of the stuff over here or this side of the Atlantic would bore you to death, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. But I found the recent move into politics of one Donald Trump very interesting, and he is, of course, a legend of the business world. He is one of the biggest billionaires on earth at the minute. Of course, he is one of the richest guys in the world, and he is the not that I glorify that. I find I'm not a snob at all. I find it very much. The other side of actually, I'm a middle class Irishman, but I'm not into that type of stuff. But I think he plans on listening to his interviews. A lot of the stuff's very controversial that he's coming out with, but I think he's trying to shake things up a bit, make things more entertaining, and he's not been very politically correct because he doesn't believe in politically correctness. He believes in just getting the job done, making a better country, and that's what he's been preaching. A lot of people taking it the wrong way. I think people are reading into his ideas a lot the wrong way, because I think he's very capable of doing great things, in my opinion, because he's got the business sense, he's got the savvy, I think he has that career experience behind him. He has the what's the word? He knows business. He knows how to manipulate people, and that I'm talking manipulating other world leaders, other governments to do business, as far as getting them to sign deals or getting them to talk about oil and getting them to do this, getting them to do that. You could argue the Americans are greedy. Okay, I don't think Trump goes against that idea. I think they claim to be that way to make their empire as big as ever and as brilliant as ever. Of course, the United States of America, known as the land of opportunity in the past, it was known as the great promised land and stuff. But lately, that has, as Donald Trump has said in some of his speeches, that has all kind of went by the wayside because of the recession, because of stuff that has went down. But I think the idea of Donald Trump being in government and running it like a big business, like a massive business. He's a massive business. He's a massive business tycoon, and to think that he could make a massive change in the industry and to make to think that he could make a big change as American president and to be the U.S. leader, that's mad. It is mad to think that a business tycoon, a guy that is well known as one of the greatest billionaires of all time in the world, and he of course well known for his role in the American show The Apprentice, which he was famous for saying "you're fired" kind of thing. He also made ventures into the world of professional wrestling. That's where I get my interest in him, I suppose. That's the way it is. But he was, of course, he owns Trump Plaza in Atlantic City, New Jersey, and of course he gave Vince McMahon Trump Plaza for both WrestleMania 4 and WrestleMania 5. And then later on in his career in WWE, he came in to do the business deal with McMahon in 2009, where he bought Monday Night Raw. I think it was Storyline, but maybe he actually bought it. But I remember he done a Raw which was advertisements free because Trump can afford stuff like that. And then McMahon bought it back off him a few weeks later, and then of course Donald Trump went on to have that big, or before that actually, in 2007 at WrestleMania 23, they had the Battle of the Billionaires, and it was Trump versus McMahon, and the loser gets his head shaved, and representing McMahon was Umaga, representing Trump was Bobby Lashley, and of course Donald Trump's Lashley won, and then McMahon of course had to get his head shaved. Stone Cold Steve Austin was the referee, and then John Cena put McMahon into the trash. Wasn't that something like that happened anyway? But on hindsight, Donald Trump has been involved in wrestling, and he's been very entertaining. He's been involved in lots of aspects of entertainment, and much like a former president in Ronald Reagan in the 1980s, definitely I think Donald Trump could make a difference if he went in there. He has a lot of great personality. He has a lot of, and okay, he has made a lot of racial claims, but they're very much, I think they're structured terms that he used more so, because he talked about Mexicans, and he said about Mexicans being killers and rapists and stuff, but he said it in the sense that a lot of Mexicans are, not all of them. He talks about the blacks and the neighborhoods and stuff, and about them being at an all-time low in the poor neighborhoods and that, but he talked about wanting to fix all that and wanting to, he said some of these things, but people are taking what he said, but they're not thinking about what he said it in context with, So I think Donald Trump, all in all, will be it's an interesting, actually, I think he would be a good American president, for the sense that he knows business, he knows how to run an industry, he knows how to run a big business company. He could run the government like a big business company effectively. That could happen. I think that Donald Trump might be a good decision. It might be a good one. He's ahead in all the polls. The mad thing is, he's canvassing for the Republican. He's a candidate for the Republicans, and he's ahead, top of the polls, ahead of other fairly people that were expected to do very well, including Jeb Bush. He is actually behind by a good few points, so he was one of the other big runners. Hillary Clinton is on the other side. She's a Republican, and she's a Democrat candidate, and she's expected to go through as a Democrat winner. But remember, Ron Paul was there, and he's one of the next few who are big, very big candidates for the Democrats. But and we all know that Hillary is looking to get in there as the first woman president of the United States, and that she wants to make that mark as her. And as well as that, I do watch InfoWars on YouTube, Alex Jones' show, and I watch a lot of the stuff, the Young Turks and different shows like this to polish up on all that stuff. But I really find it very, very interesting, very fascinating. The InfoWars show is very cool because them guys, Alex Jones and Jesse Ventura, who's former wrestler, former Navy SEAL, former actor, of course, and now he's living off the grid most of the year in Mexico. and he talks a lot on on his show about the about that stuff as well, on with Alex Jones on Off the Grid. Also, he talks on his own show, his own podcast, which is We the People, it's called. And I listen a lot to Jesse Ventura at times as well there, and I find his shows very good as well, because these guys are not afraid to speak their mind, much like Donald Trump. Donald Trump's a guy who is not afraid to speak his mind. So I definitely would love to see, I think, I'm not going to make a big decision now and say I want to see Trump as President of the United States, but I think it might be good for business. And you know, that phrase is thrown about a lot these days, but I think Donald Trump might be best for business. You know, you could argue, no, that's bullshit, Kieran. Why would you put such a racist, well, I'm not saying, I don't think he's a racist. I think it's all an act. I think the way he goes on, he's just not a politically correct person. And I think he is, if you listen to what he says, he always says this stuff like, they all love me, they all think I'm a great guy, and they all love me. Some of this, I'm just paraphrasing. He talked about the Chinese loving him, and he could do great deals with China. He said he could do great deals with Mexico because they all love me down in Mexico, he was saying, stuff like that. You know, I love his way of going. I think his delivery of stuff, of his lines, and the stuff he delivers, and the stuff he talks about is really, really, they feel secure. A lot of the stuff he's talking about feels secure. So I feel like Trump, who is totally against Obama went in there in 2007, 2008. I was 100% pro-Obama. I was so happy that Obama won that election. I was so happy he beat Hillary Clinton at the time. And I have to say, I would be, if Obama, there's talk now, Alex Jones was talking on his show the other day with a guy, Nichols, Ray Nichols, I think his name was, and he's a former veteran of the government in the Bill Clinton government, and he was talking about the Clintons and about a lot of the inside jobs supposedly the Clintons have done and stuff like that. But you know, we can't really talk about that stuff that much because that might not be true, and you know, you don't want to get in trouble or whatever. But there's a lot of very interesting theories out there about what went down as far as the political stuff going on back in the day in America. This guy Nichols talked about as well about he thinks that maybe Donald Trump could be a setup, like that Hillary Clinton could have put him in place to take the bad look away from her, kind of thing. You know, when the whole email scandal came up and the erase of her accounts and stuff, that all was very, very, very dodgy stuff. And you know, with Donald Trump being a pretty big deal now, taking, you know, him being ahead in the polls, everything. You see, he's such a big name as well, so that will get him marks. Much like Schwarzenegger winning the elections in California to become the governor of California. Big deal at the time. You know, you got to look at it that way. That this man could be the next. He could be Donald Trump. Could be the next president. There's a fine English sentence for you folks. But wouldn't it be interesting to see that? And I wonder what way the government would go. What way would the world go? Because essentially we're talking, the American president is the leader of the world. That's what we're talking about these days. The leader of the free world, the Western world. You know, I'm not into all the propaganda. I'm a fan of all the conspiracy theory stuff with the Jesse Ventura stuff and the Donald Trump stuff, Alex Jones stuff, David Icke to an extent, stuff in Britain, all the stuff that the guy that was on the truce, of course, was on about as well. Remember, of course, now I hate forgetting names anyway. But anyway, we'll not go into that. But you know, I'm big into all these things, so I think it's a very, very interesting concept. With if Donald Trump got to be in power and had a good government behind him, there's talk of Jesse the Body Ventura, Jesse the Mind Ventura, as he was known when he was governor of Minnesota. There's talk about him as his running mate. Could be a good idea. He has talked about running as a non-party candidate before, but people reckon that he said there would be a lot of things would have to be put in place if that was to happen. But wouldn't it be good for Ventura if he could actually run as Donald Trump's running body? And that would be very interesting. But anyway, folks, leave what you think about this down below. It probably will be, there'll be a lot of dislikes perhaps with this video. There'll be a lot, but I want to get your intake. I want to get your take, should I say, on all this. I really enjoy the American politics scene. I really enjoy this stuff. It's hard to beat American politics, in my opinion. It's very entertaining. I would love to see Donald Trump pull it off, because I find it very he's shaking things up really well. And I know it's over a year to go until the election in America, but it started off really interesting. As I said on that Alex Jones show, they're talking about maybe Trump being just put in there as a ploy or a decoy for Hillary to succeed. Maybe a decoy for Jeb Bush. Maybe a plan of, because when you think about it though, Donald Trump's daughter Ivanka and Hillary Clinton and Bill's daughter Chelsea are best friends, and away from politics they're best buddies. So it's interesting, and of course there's pictures all over the internet of Hillary and Bill Clinton at Donald Trump's wedding. They're all New Yorkers, so they are all friendly, but I find it all very fascinating, the fact that Trump could be the next president of the United States. There's another theory out there that Obama could turn things, and they could Obama could follow what Putin done in Russia, and there could be martial law, and if that happened, Obama would stay in power and he would become the king. They might actually, there's a theory floating about that this could be the last American president. Obama could be the last American president, and they could go into a monarchy type situation, and then Obama could take over. Obama could reveal that he's a Muslim or something, something like this could happen, and then the theory is that he would become a long-term king or monarch. Who knows? Very interesting stuff, folks. I love all that stuff, but chances are that won't happen, and it will be Donald Trump will be in office, or Hillary Clinton, or Jeb Bush, or Ron Paul. Who knows? I think it's one of them four, folks. Who the hell knows? But it's been the Kyoster, giving you my take on it all. I think it's all great stuff, and I'll be keeping up to date with it, doing the odd video on the American presidential race. Maybe I'll do a few other political videos, philosophical videos, all the rest. I'm really into all this stuff as well, so I'm big into everything that there's passion involved in. I think it's all good, positive stuff. The Kyoster, I'm not saying I'm for Donald Trump, but I'm saying read into his stuff and get a good, have a good listen to what he's saying before you judge him. And as well as that, don't take him too seriously, because he is a kind of a joker and stuff, and he's not really like racist and stuff. I think it's all part of his game plan. He's not very politically correct, and why everybody's too politically correct these days. I think it's all a bit over the top, as I've been talking about with Hulk Hogan and stuff. I think people blew it out of all proportion. I think people generally good people these days, and I think the bad people are the worst. The ones that are really doing harm are the ones that should be hated. No, I think definitely Donald Trump means well, and I think he's the man to run the American government, because he knows business, he knows how to run things, and I think he could run a government. But that's just my opinion. And you'll notice too, before I go, you'll notice with Donald Trump, he never reads from a prompter. He actually says what he thinks when it comes out of his mouth. He doesn't have people write speeches for him. Probably should at times, because he comes out with a lot of stuff that maybe he shouldn't in the modern world of politically correctness. But in my opinion, that's a good thing, because he's honest and genuine. He said he wouldn't be bothered doing this whole political thing, but he said he couldn't sit back and watch the country of America be downtrodden and destroyed by the current president, Obama. I personally thought Obama was a great guy until the last few years there, and I think he's really hasn't been as good a president as he could be, and I think there's a lot more to Obama than meets the eye. So things will transpire on both for Obama and for the Clintons and stuff, and I think there's a lot more than meets the eye with these people, and there's a lot of stuff that hasn't been revealed by the American government. I would imagine that side of the political world is very secretive and stuff, so I find it all very fascinating. For the Kyoster, it's been CKTV or YouTube, and I hope you enjoyed the show. Give your opinions and all. Give me a like and give me a dislike. All publicity is good, but enjoy your night, folks. Kyoster over, and out.